Hey everyone, today we are going to be doing a flow that is great for runners, those who sit for a while, maybe in an office setting, or booty lifters doing a lot of squats and lunges, or really just anybody who's feeling extra tight in the hamstrings and hips. Tight hips, tight hamstrings, they can often lead to us having lower back pain as well. So some of these poses are going to really help stretch our legs and our hips, but they will also hopefully get your lower back feeling really great as well. Keep in mind to listen to your body throughout this flow. I'm going to offer some variations. However, just because I'm telling you to do something doesn't mean that you have to do it. I always encourage everyone to listen to their body. Only you know how you feel. That being said, I do recommend having some props today. So, if you have a yoga strap handy, go ahead and grab it. And I do have 2 blocks to utilize today, especially if you are extremely tight in the hamstrings or you're new to yoga and you are just getting into your practice. Props are your friend, so keep them on hand, have them to utilize. Every day in your practice and in your journey is different, so don't knock the props. They are amazing. Okay. Come on, Coco, watch out. So I'm going to have you get started in a seated position in staff pose. So first, checking in that we are on our sit bones, so moving any of the meat out of the way and keeping the legs out long in front of us. Finding that lift in our chest and that lift in our crown. And then if you have your strap handy, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a strap and you have like a towel or a scarf, they are an amazing improvisation. Is that the right word? Improvisation to utilize instead of a strap. So taking our strap or whatever we're using and taking it behind our toes, it's going to be just below the big toe at the meaty part. And flexing the feet towards you, finding that lift, and just first feeling this general stretch right here. So it shouldn't be anything intense. You're not ripping your feet towards you, just lightly keeping them pointing your toes towards your face. Checking in with your breath. Feeling the chest, gentle rise with each inhale, and the fall with each exhale as we breathe into the first gentle stretch of our practice today. Checking into this moment right here, breathing into the hips and hamstrings. And then go ahead and take your strap, place it off to the side. And we're going to cross our legs here, sit in a cross-legged position, however you feel comfortable. Once again, making sure that we're on our sit bones, so really heavying the sit bones down, grounding them, and then finding that energy, that lift all the way through your spine, up out the crown of the head. Working the shoulders down, away from the neck. And then inhaling the arms up high. Exhaling, folding down over. If this stretch is a little bit intense and you want to grab one of your blocks here and place your forehead on it, go ahead and do so. Remembering to breathe, checking in with our breath here. hands back towards you, bringing your torso back up to rise. And then we're going to make our way to tabletop pose or all fours. Hello, Coco. A little help of Coco. So we are going to stack our knees under our hips here, and we're stacking our wrist under our shoulders and finding that neutral spine. So if you're not sure how a neutral spine should feel, just play with it a little bit. Sink down, feel the sinking. Maybe you're super relaxed in the spine, or you're putting a lot of weight in your lower back and kind of arch it. And then find the neutral middle where you feel still in line, you still feel like the spine is finding length through the crown. And then from here, we're going to make our way through some cat-cows just to get the juices flowing, warming up our spine, warming up our core, really firing up the whole body for the beginning of our practice. So first, inhale, dropping the belly and lifting the chest. And then exhale, pushing away from the mat, rounding the spine. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chest. Allowing your pelvis to be what guides your movement as you tuck the pelvis under with your exhale and push away from the mat. And go ahead and move through some of those with your own breath. Coming back to that neutral spine here. And then we're gonna step our right toes back and step our left toes back, meeting in plank pose. So finding length from the feet through the crown of the head, pushing away from our mat, so a slight round in the shoulders. And then we're gonna exhale our hips back and high for our first downward facing dog. So if it feels good, keeping a slight bend in the knees or bending one knee and then the other, walking it out. Remember, you're just warming up still. Feeling that nice, juicy stretch. Remembering to breathe. And then slowly walking your feet to meet your hands at the front of your mat in a forward fold, keeping a slight bend in the knees, however you need to keep it, to keep yourself from rounding your back. So maybe play with it a little bit, bending one knee and then the other. Then we're going to inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then we're going to step our right foot back, keeping our left foot forward and stacking our left knee over our left ankle. Gently placing the right knee on the mat, flipping the toes under, checking in with our body here as we inhale up the torso. And if it feels good, staying here. If this feels too intense for you, try utilizing your blocks. That is why you have them. So if it feels too intense or you're having trouble keeping your knee over your ankle, placing your hand on each block so that we can also still try to find that lift in the chest and in the spine at whatever height you need to ensure that you're staying lifted and long. If you don't need your blocks, either placing the hand on the thigh or coming onto your hips, checking in with the hips that they are square here. So you don't want them twisted open, you want them square, you want them in line, and pushing slightly forward. Breathe. And now coming back down, framing the foot, and we're going to stretch our hamstring a little bit more here. So inhale, bringing the hips back, straightening that front leg. Exhale, folding back over, knee over ankle. Inhale, stretching out the front leg, squaring the hips. Exhale, folding back over. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then we're going to gently flip our right toes under, lifting the right back knee. And we're going to spring off that back right foot to meet our left at the front of the mat in a forward fold. Once again, bending one knee, bending the other, working those hamstrings. Inhale to halfway rise. Exhale, forward fold, planting your palms, stepping the left toes back on the mat, stacking right knee over right ankle, and gently placing the left knee down on the mat, flipping the toes under. Once again, checking in with how your body feels here. If you feel like you need to use the blocks, then go ahead and use them. Every day is different for me, and so every day I check in and see with where I'm at. Some days this is too intense or I have trouble balancing, so I go ahead and I utilize my blocks just to keep myself steady and to make sure that I am using proper alignment. Breathing into your hips and into your hamstrings. And once again, coming down, framing that foot, and then inhale, taking those hips back, straightening that front leg. Exhale, folding back over. Inhale, taking those hips back. Exhale, folding back under. Hi, Coco. Inhale, straightening that front knee. Exhale, coming back over. One more time, inhaling the hips back, straightening that front leg, squaring the hips. And then exhale, folding back over that front leg. And then placing your palms on each side, framing that foot, gently lifting the back toes and lifting the back knee, and stepping our right foot back to meet the left in plank pose. And then exhaling the hips back and high for downward facing dog. Inhaling our left leg back and high for three-legged dog. And then on the exhale, we're going to step that left foot to the outside of our left hand. My blocks are in the way. So you want it on the outside, and you want that foot a little in front of your hands. So if you need a block to keep your spine lifted, go ahead and utilize it. If not, and you're feeling comfortable here, taking the blocks out of your way and placing your palms on the ground just behind that foot. Breathing into that hamstring, into that leg. Now, if you are feeling comfortable here and like you could utilize a little bit deeper of a stretch, you can place your block down in front of you on the lowest setting and then come down to your forearms. Only do this if you are feeling open to it and you're still able to keep your spine long and lifted. If you're on your forearms, coming back up to your palms, if you have a block, moving it. And then placing the palms down, flipping the right toes under, lifting that back knee, and taking the left foot to meet the right in plank. Exhaling the hips back and high, and inhaling the right leg back for three-legged jog. On the exhale, placing that right foot to the outside of the right palms. This way it's probably easier for you all to see now. That you want that foot in front of the hands, so the hands are back here. Hi, Coco. Your foot is a little in front. Keeping the spine long and lifted. Hello. This is lizard lunge, and this is so nice and juicy if you are feeling tight. Sometimes it's a bit intense. Like I said, grabbing a block can totally assist you, but you'll definitely feel good after. Gently lifting the left toes, lifting the back knee, stepping the right foot back, meeting in plank pose. Inhaling the hips back and high, or exhaling depending on where you are in your breath work. Inhaling up that back left leg. And then on the exhale, you are going to place the left knee behind the left palm and crossing that over. So you're stepping the left foot behind the right palm, and then taking the left knee down behind the left palm. I worded that funny. And this is for a variation of pigeon pose. So once again, our leg is a bit crossed in front of us. Our left foot is behind our right palm, and then our left knee is behind the left palm. And once you feel comfortable here, so you want to ensure that your back leg is long, your foot is not turned any sort of way, because you don't want to hurt or put pressure on your knee. And then once you feel good and stable here, we're going to actually walk the hands down and fold over that front leg. Taking your block and resting your forehead on it can really aid in getting you to really just release down into the stretch. It is a bit intense, so remember to breathe. Here for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, bringing the torso back up to rise. Placing our palms down, gently lifting our back knee and stepping our left leg back to meet the right in plank pose. And then exhaling the hips back and high for our downward facing dog. And then inhaling the right leg back and high for three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping that right foot behind the left palm, bringing the knee down behind the right palm. Gently releasing down the left leg. First getting comfortable here, sinking down into our hips, checking in with your body here, checking in with your alignment, looking back at that foot to see where you are, working to keep everything in line here. And then when you feel comfortable, exhaling down, folding over that front leg. 3 more breaths here. Inhaling up our torso, bless you, Coco. And now we're going to shift our weight back onto our hip and bring our left leg back around. Coming to a cross-legged position. And from here, we're going to ease our weight onto our backs. Unless you have a Coco in the way, then you really have to ease. Get a few kisses. Okay, and from here, with our feet bent, when the soles of the feet are flat on the mat, knees are bent, and then we're going to walk the soles of the feet together as we allow our knees to splay apart for reclined butterfly, Urdhva Supta Konasana. Breathing into our groin here. Inhaling the knees back up to center and taking the feet about hip distance apart. We're going to inhale up that right leg straight, and you're kicking out of the heel so the toes are flexed towards your face. And then we're going to turn the feet out, turn the toes out, and bend at the knee, crossing the ankle over the left knee. Now, here in our reclined figure 4, we're going to inhale up that left thigh, reaching to grab behind it, feeling the stretch. Remembering to breathe. If you feel like you need a little bit more of a stretch, try straightening and reaching through that left heel, flexing the toes towards your face, while still working that right knee away from you. If your left leg is straight, bending it back down. And then placing the left sole of the foot down on the mat and uncrossing the legs, placing the right foot down on the mat. And now we're going to inhale up that left foot, kicking through the heel, flexing in the toes, turning the toes out and bending that ankle, hi Coco, over the right knee. And then inhaling the right side up into our chest, reaching behind the thigh, flexing through the toes. Working the left knee away from you. And then once again, if you feel like you need a little bit more of a stretch here, straightening that front right leg, reaching out through the heel and flexing the toes towards your face, while still remembering to work that left knee away from you. If your leg is straight, bending it back down, exhaling the right foot down to the mat. And then uncrossing the ankle from the knee, placing the left foot down, reaching for your strap. Oh, I have blocks on the way. We're going to reach for our strap here, and we're going to place our strap behind our toes again. So if you need to bring your toes towards you, go ahead and do so, and then taking them back out long first. breathing into it. And then we're going to inhale up, not using the strap, just using your core to inhale up your legs. Reaching through the heels, flexing the toes, and now keep a gentle pull on your strap, which once again should be just below the big toe, wrapped around the foot. And you're not pulling super strong and rigorous here. You don't need to for this stretch. You want your feet to be flexed. The toes are pointed towards you. You're reaching out of the heels, and your arms are actually rested. You should have a pretty loose grip. The strap is more there as a little extra support to guide you. Exhaling them back down. Moving your strap. Inhaling your knees up into your chest. Giving them a great big hug if it feels good, rocking from side to side. It's a nice little massage on the lower back. So I quite like it, but depending on where you are in your practice today, maybe you don't want to move. That's cool too. And then either reaching behind your thighs or for the outsides of your feet, still working your knees into your armpits as you kick the feet up towards the ceiling as if they're holding up the ceiling for happy baby. Still working to keep the spine long on the mat. Remembering this isn't a super intense stretch. Babies are always smiling while they do it, so why can't you? Enjoying our yoga practice as it comes to a close. Exhaling the knees back into our chest for one last hug. Allowing the legs to go out long on the mat. Allowing your feet to splay open however they feel comfortable and your arms to go at your sides. Either keeping your palms set up to receive or flip them down to ground you today. Closing your eyes and scanning your body from the tips of your toes all the way up through the crown of your head. Checking in and seeing if you're not still holding some tension somewhere in your body. Maybe you did just finish a run and your quads are still holding up your knees, or your calves are still flexed tight. See with the next exhale if you can't release and let go of that last little bit of tension. See if you can't take your shoulders a little bit further away from your neck. Feeling the gentle support of your mat on your spine. Feeling your body realign with each inhale and sink deeper into the mat and into the earth with each exhale. your breath. Starting to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe moving your feet, moving your hands, and feeling that little bit of energy start to climb back up through your body. Maybe you want to stay here in Shavasana for a little bit longer, and that's amazing because it's your practice. You should do whatever you so please. Or maybe you want to enjoy some tea now that it's like unbelievably cool. Thank you for joining me on this sequence in this nice little flow. Whether you just needed some feel-good leg stretches today, or you just finished a 5K, either way, thank your body and thank yourself. Give yourself love and gratitude for making it on your mat today and practicing with Coco and I. I hope you feel amazing and enjoy the rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in all of you, and I appreciate you coming here.